I remember feeling completely lost in high school. My grades were slipping, I was withdrawing from friends and family, and every day felt like an uphill battle. At first, I was too embarrassed to admit I needed help. Finally, I confided in my parents. To my surprise, they were incredibly understanding. They encouraged me to see a therapist, and it turned out to be a game changer. Therapy provided me with a safe space to unpack my feelings and develop coping mechanisms. This experience made me realize that mental health is a journey. It's about navigating life's ups and downs and seeking support when needed. Mental health is not just about the absence of mental illness. It encompasses our emotional, psychological, and social well-being. It influences how we think, feel, and behave. Unfortunately, mental health is often misunderstood. There's a tendency to associate it solely with mental illnesses, like depression or anxiety. While these conditions are real, mental health is a spectrum. We all experience moments of stress, sadness, anger, and joy. When these emotions become overwhelming and interfere with our lives, it's essential to seek support. Ignoring the storm won't make it disappear. It might even make it worse. Just like we seek medical attention for physical ailments, we should feel comfortable seeking help for our mental health. We often talk about physical and mental health as separate entities, but they are intricately intertwined. Chronic stress can manifest in physical symptoms, like headaches and heart problems. Similarly, chronic pain can take a toll on our mental health. Think of it like a dance between two partners. If we neglect our mental health, our physical health will suffer, and vice versa. This interconnectedness highlights the importance of a holistic approach to well-being. Just as we nourish our bodies, we need to nurture our minds. It's about finding a harmonious balance between the two. Mental health is not just a personal issue, it's a societal one. It affects everyone, regardless of age, gender, race, or socioeconomic status. Ignoring mental health has far-reaching consequences, impacting our relationships, communities, and economy. Addressing mental health is about creating a society that prioritizes well-being. It's about fostering a culture of empathy, understanding, and support. It's about breaking down the stigma and creating an environment where people feel comfortable seeking help. One of the biggest obstacles to improving mental health is the pervasive stigma. Stigma creates a culture of silence, shame, and fear. It's fueled by misconceptions and stereotypes. Breaking down the stigma starts with education and open conversations. By normalizing discussions about mental health, we create a more supportive society. Remember, mental health is health and deserves the same importance and compassion. There are many myths and misconceptions surrounding mental health. One pervasive myth is that people with mental health conditions are dangerous or violent. This couldn't be further from the truth. Another misconception is that mental illness is a sign of weakness. Mental health conditions are complex and often stem from various factors. Blaming individuals for their mental health struggles is unhelpful. Mental illness can affect anyone, regardless of background. Another myth is that mental health conditions are permanent and untreatable. Many individuals experience significant improvement with appropriate treatment. With the right tools and support, individuals can live full and meaningful lives. sharing personal experiences can break down stigma and foster understanding. When we hear stories from people who have faced mental health challenges, it reminds us we are not alone. It allows us to connect on a human level and build empathy. By sharing our stories, we normalize conversations about mental health. Think about a time when you shared a personal struggle and received empathy and support. Remember how validating and empowering that felt? When we share our stories, we open the door for others to do the same. We create a ripple effect of empathy and understanding. In a world that pressures us to present a perfect image, it's easy to feel like we need to have it all together. But here's the truth. It's okay to not be okay. It's okay to have bad days, to feel overwhelmed, to struggle. Denying our struggles only makes them harder to cope with. When we acknowledge our emotions, we empower ourselves to seek support. Think of it like this. If you were physically injured, you wouldn't hesitate to seek medical attention. Mental health is no different. Seeking help is not a sign of weakness. It's a sign of strength. Remember, you don't have to go through this alone. There was a time in my life when the weight of the world felt unbearable. It wasn't a single event. It was a slow accumulation of stress and anxiety. One difficult evening, I realized I couldn't keep pretending everything was okay. Picking up my phone, I dialed the number of a therapist. As the phone rang, a wave of doubt washed over me. But then I remembered, asking for help is not a sign of weakness, it's a sign of strength. Taking a deep breath, I made the appointment. That phone call was a turning point in my life. Walking into the therapist's office for the first time, I felt a mix of apprehension and hope. Over the next few weeks, therapy became a safe haven. My therapist helped me identify the root causes of my anxiety. What surprised me most was the realization that I wasn't alone in my struggles. I started attending a support group, and it was transformative. Hearing others share their stories made me feel seen and understood. It also gave me hope. I learned the power of vulnerability and the importance of seeking support. For a long time, I equated vulnerability with weakness. But what I learned was that vulnerability is actually a source of strength. It takes courage to be vulnerable and let others see us for who we truly are. When we allow ourselves to be vulnerable, we create space for authentic connection. Think about a time when someone shared a vulnerable part of themselves with you. Did it push you away, or did it make you feel closer to them? Vulnerability is what allows us to connect on a deeper level. It's like letting down the drawbridge to our hearts, allowing others to offer their love and support. Looking back on my mental health journey, I'm struck by the profound lessons I've learned. Perhaps the most important lesson is that it's okay to ask for help. For too long, I believed I had to navigate my struggles alone. But asking for help is a sign of incredible strength. When we allow ourselves to be vulnerable and ask for help, we often find that people are more than willing to offer support. Another powerful lesson is that self-care is not selfish. Taking care of our mental health isn't a luxury. It's a necessity. It's about prioritizing our well-being so we can show up as our best selves for ourselves and others. Now, You might be thinking, this is all well and good, but what are some practical steps I can take to support my own mental health or that of others? And that's a great question. The good news is that there are many simple yet powerful things we can do to make a difference. Yeah. One of the most important things we can do is to normalize conversations about mental health. Just like we talk about our physical health, we should feel comfortable discussing our mental well-being. This can be as simple as checking in with friends and family members, asking how they're really doing, and truly listening to their responses. Another crucial step is to educate ourselves about mental health conditions. The more we understand about mental health, the better equipped we'll be to support ourselves and others. There are countless resources available online, in libraries, and through community organizations. We can also challenge stigma by speaking out against negative stereotypes and misconceptions about mental health. Words have power, and when we use our voices to promote understanding and compassion, we help create a more supportive and inclusive environment for everyone. Mental health is integral to our well-being, impacting our relationships, careers, and physical health. It's about developing resilience to navigate life's ups and downs. Cope with stress in healthy ways and seek support when needed. Millions face mental health challenges. There's no shame in seeking help. By breaking down stigma and fostering open conversations, we can create a supportive world. Let's prioritize mental health, reach out to those struggling, and advocate for a world where mental well-being is valued. Together we can make a difference. We've covered a lot of ground in this exploration of mental health, but it's just the beginning. The conversation doesn't end here. In fact, it's more crucial than ever to keep the dialogue open, honest, and ongoing. Your voice matters. Your experiences matter. Share your thoughts, insights, and questions in the comments below. Let's create a safe and supportive space to learn from one another, offer encouragement, and continue to chip away at the stigma surrounding mental health. Remember, you're not alone on this journey. By sharing our stories, listening with open hearts, and advocating for mental well-being, we can collectively create a world where everyone feels seen, heard, and supported. If you found this exploration helpful, consider subscribing for more content on mental health, self-care, and personal growth. And be sure to check out the video linked in the description for a deeper dive into practical tips and resources for supporting your own mental well-being and that of others. Let's keep the conversation going. Together, we can make a difference.